It's David, right?
Yep. We are live. Go ahead and talk, Bear.
Okay, David. Testing 1, 2, 3. How's sound and video? Oh,
Somebody let him know if you're hearing him. I gotta find a way to speed up that chat.
I don't know. Type it in then. I've seen no response. There we go. Okay. We got. Yeah, it was. That's probably about a 20-second delay there.
Yeah, I know. That's how bad it's been.
Okay. Just a second here. When you type it in, when you hit enter, say so.
Yeah.
Did you just hit enter?
Yes, not yet.
Okay.
Now.
1001, 1002,
Okay.
1003. Yeah, it doesn't
Hi,
take that
Brian.
long for the text.
Hi, Brian.
Hello, everybody. Oh,
Hi, Jeff. Hi, GMG Silver Plate. Well, hello, GMG. How you doing?
yeah. Anyhow,
Always nice to have a Silver Plate person around here.
we spent this week doing mostly everything but mining related stuff in general. First of all, last Tuesday we were at the polls observing, officially observing, and around here everything went pretty smoothly and reasonably. Didn't see a problem there. And then we are also we made a deal with the owner.
Brian says, congrats on the new HQ. Yeah, as soon as we're moved in, we're going to have some decent video set up, by the way. I'm already planning stuff.
Yeah, so let's say the new digs that we're working on, getting everything ready to go and getting some furniture and stuff, because this comes furnished and that is unfurnished. So we got to have bed, just all kinds of stuff. We went to Goodwill. Was it Goodwill? No.
Yes.
Yes, Goodwill.
And honey, we're going to try to get better internet, but it's just going to be Ethernet. No idea. I mean, I have zero clue. And GMG, yeah, we love talking Silver Plate around here too, as soon as he be quiet.
So anyhow, that's what we've been working on this week. And spent a couple of days underneath the trailer fixing some plumbing and such, and getting all that fixed and then buttoned up and insulated and everything for the winter.
Honey says, retired, disabled, and unemployed people get some really good dibs on free furniture. Yeah.
Yeah, we've already got a free bed, a free couch.
Just by putting the word out amongst friends, we're getting all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, we may have some other stuff too, because a lot of times people put stuff in storage and then they're like, man, I don't really need that, and voila. We wind up with stuff. We'll need a couple of end tables and a few other little things.
And I'm going to be setting up an actual winter lab so that I can be continuing to do science type stuff over the winter.
Yeah.
Where things will not be freezing because I'll be indoors.
Yeah.
Which will be cool.
Absolutely. So I say we will have a lot better setup. We're going to have a covered porch so we can do the panning and this and that on. We got a shed where we can put stuff in, and we have a lot of room. I mean, just the living room in the double wide is roughly the same size as our entire studio apartment.
Yeah, that's the main purpose for this move, is more space and to have an indoor lab. All we're doing right now, honey, is we're renting. We're not going to be, but yeah, no, they don't expect shit shape, spit spot, clean and shiny either.
Yeah.
Our next door neighbor's trailer looks as redneck as this one does.
Anyhow, we do have a lot of parking space around it.
Hi, Lars.
So that will be convenient. There's also some asphalted area that I can actually park bugs on or whatever if I
Well,
need to work on it.
honey, renting would definitely give some headaches normally, except that the dude we're renting this from is having us fix it up. He's paying for the materials, and he's very happy to have me,
Yeah.
have us fixing things.
So, as I say, for the first year, it's going to be reduced rent while we do a lot of work fixing it up. And as I say, we'll kind of go from there. Right now, it's just getting it in livable condition, getting furniture in, and getting things
Brent
going.
Smith says, great fun when she interrupts you every 15 seconds.
She has a tendency to at times, yep. But anyhow.
Anyhow, I think he was talking about Honey Bunny, but I do interrupt you too. I have to interrupt people. So my plan this coming week is to get some more done on my X-ray film, I mean, the X-ray film is what I'm going to be working on over the next couple of weeks, getting just the right materials balanced to see what we can do so we can scale up from the test to the next thing.
And we'll actually have a place to scale up.
Yes.
Which is
cool.
Nice.
Way cool.
And
that means I can start collecting other e-waste to take apart, which is what I'd like to do.
potentially, yep. And anyhow, so I say it'll make life a lot easier in some ways, but over the next 2 to 4 weeks, we're going to be quite busy making that transition and shutting down the mill out at the ranch for the winter.
David Villa says trailer living is the life of ease.
Not this one, not right now. As I say, I've got a lot of work to do on it, and when we're talking redneck remodeling, or crackhead remodeling, today we were pulling the paneling off of one wall in the living room.
One wall. Keep that in mind.
And the panels were held up by approximately 6 screws each. The actual types of screws varied. The heads, I think they were all Phillips head, at least on that one. We've had a number of stuff where I think I had 4 different heads of screws in one wall pulling stuff off of to get to the studs.
And they're all different types of screws and different lengths of screws. It's just ridiculous. Ward says he just cleaned his trailer after 1.5 years, and it's much bigger now.
Yeah. It's kind of fun, but we'll have by next video we should have the office done, with the exception of possibly some shelves along one wall there, and the bedroom done, and be ready to move in, start moving stuff over there.
Doc says renting's the way to go sometimes, especially with inflated property values and interest rates. Yeah, Doc, and especially when you can get a good discount for remodeling something, because, this is not something that could have been rented out in the condition it's in. I'm still trying to pick. Imagine somebody put one of those slider bolts on the bedroom door, from the bedroom door side, of course, and they use screws that are about 4 inches long, so they're poking out the other side of the dang door. It's ridiculous.
They're poking out, but not that much.
And half of the paneling in that bathroom was not cut to size, so the whole bottom is just like bowing out.
It's
And there's a disabled extra large bowl toilet with an ordinary sized toilet seat on it.
Yeah.
It's like, you've got to be kidding me.
Oh no. It's interesting. So yeah, we're gonna.
Oh, Honey Bunny, there's a kit right now down for $99. 270-piece mechanic set. Who made it? Milwaukee, wasn't it?
I don't think it was Milwaukee.
Well, it wasn't Ryobi, but it's down at Home Depot for $99. Really nice kit.
Yeah, not a bad one. But as I say, it's going to be interesting, and the solution analysis for Platinum Group is
Yeah, I believe it's
on
Milwaukee.
hold.
He doesn't think it's Milwaukee, Honey Bunny, but I remember. I know it's not Ryobi because it's not
No, it's not
chartreuse.
Ryobi. Yeah, I'm not sure who it was, but it wasn't Ryobi. Um, but anyhow, so
Yeah, Doc, this actually is a Black Friday deal.
the uh,
Well, if it's not them, Honey Bunny, it's somebody else who does black and red colored tools.
it could be,
tool
but
kit.
I don't know. Anyhow, the laboratory guy took the last 2 days of last week off because his daughter had a volleyball tournament in the other corner of the state. So they went for that. He'll be back. I think he was coming in today to actually work, even though
Yeah.
it wasn't going to be officially open.
And I had those debris to be smelted.
Yeah.
Buenos tardes, Rock Butcher.
Hey,
How
haven't
are
seen you.
you?
How's everything going? Been busy in Arizona, I'm guessing?
Well, I know it's not Diablo, honey. That's a name I would definitely remember. Doc says pawn shops are really good places to get decent power tools. Exactly, Doc. We have a pawn shop in town where you can they have hand tools too, and they have bins of sockets and stuff. So you can just pick the sockets and screwdriver bits and stuff you want. It's wonderful.
What did he say?
He says, mi hermano Jaime, and Rock Butcher said, Don David.
Okay. So,
Busy as a one-armed paper hanger, huh?
well, as long as the pay is good, that's fine. Lauren's also been quite busy, rushing to get certain things completed before the season. And he was going to have a meeting with the principals today to see what their plan is for the immediate future and adapt from there.
And we still have, we've still got to try to get one tank done or two tanks done if
We're
we
going
can.
to try and get a tank or two done before the end of season and get some resin loaded up, and because that way we'll be able to strip it without a problem in the wintertime.
Yeah.
Yeah, so all kinds of fun stuff. And that's basically, again, we've been distracted by the election stuff and by the trailer stuff. So I really haven't had much time to do anything else.
David says he's been as busy as a three-legged cat covering its shit. Yeah, we're just trying. We still have things to get done before season end, and of course now we've got moving things to get
Yep.
done. So there is that.
Ow. Oh,
Chrome
man.
vanadium steel tools to get in those mass bins are super profitable, provided you aim to use them to make other stuff with them.
And my right knee has decided as of yesterday that it's going to get some water on it and swell up a little and be difficult. So we'll see how that works out. Today I was pulling up carpet, and it's old carpet, it's pet stained and this and that, and by golly, they glued it down 100%, and it is still so adhered. I had to cut it into like 12-inch strips in order to be able to pull it off the subfloor. Oh my God.
Yeah, and the subfloor in one place is kind of non-competent. So.
Yep, that's going to have to be cut out and replaced. Theoretically, not a big problem.
Honey Bunny, I love going to that particular pawn shop because even if I don't get to buy anything, so many cool tools and you know, you can just get the one thing that you need instead of having to buy a whole socket set, because you know how there's always those sizes that you lose. Hi, Chris. And Honey says hot scrapers are best for glue removal. I wouldn't disagree with that at all.
The razor scraper seems to be doing a pretty good job on this stuff, because we just got to get it relatively smooth. Then we're going to seal it with kills and do everything else in there. And then once we're done with everything else, then the carpet will go in last. So
But
we got a lot of stuff to do before we.
Meantime, the plan this week is we are going to try to get out and fill that tank since it's been sitting out there, and
Yeah.
at least If not, fill the tank, run the pregnant solution, and see about getting some cartridges loaded.
I think, if I remember correctly, it's supposed to rain tomorrow.
Yeah, I remember
So-
seeing something about snow on my phone for like Wednesday or Thursday.
So my guess is tomorrow we'll probably work on the trailer, and then Wednesday head out to the
Chris says he's got PT
mail.
appointments on Mondays.
So anyhow, we shall see. We'll try and get the. Oh, and I've got those samples from the gravity separation test too.
Yeah.
So
Chris says it's snowing in the hills there.
yeah, I wouldn't doubt it. Yep. Anyhow, as I said, we have lots to do, lots of interesting stuff coming up.
Many, many things. And by the way, hi, Red Wing. Rock Butcher said he had snow there today, wherever he is, but it didn't stick. David got rain in the valley.
Well, he's probably back home, I would guess.
Yeah, Arizona doesn't get snow too often.
I think he's in Ontario.
Yeah.
Thunder Bay, Ontario is.
But anyway, that's the way that goes. Is we're going to try to get stuff done. Honey Bunny got 14 inches of rain total last week. Yeah, that was that flooding thing that was going on.
That's a lot.
Uh-huh. Well,
Luckily,
we
she
could
lives on a
use,
hill
we
instead of a
could
valley.
use that much, but spaced far enough apart so that it does good without causing flooding.
Yep. And I say, I'm just guessing that tomorrow's going to be more trailer work. Now we can spend all day.
He's in Thunder
Wednesday.
Bay now, and he'll be back in Arizona in a week. Yeah.
Are you driving back and forth each time, or are you flying? That's what, 2 days of driving? If you really push it, that would be my guess. That's quite the distance. It's about 1,500 miles north-south and at least 1,500 miles east-west, more like 2,000, I think.
Honey says her bottom land is the base of the creek, which makes about 50% of the land useless. Why do I keep getting chat notifications saying chat disconnected and then no idea, Rock Butcher? I really have no clue.
Is
I
that
mean,
what
I
he's
will
getting?
admit our signal isn't fantastic, but it's not horrible either.
I don't know.
3
Hopefully,
days each way, but they pay for the truck. Well, that's good. Oh, Lars starts his new old job next week. So Lars is going back to rocket surgery.
yeah. And I don't know. My train
Well,
of thought got derailed.
it's about 1,400 each way, Rock Butcher says.
Okay.
David says screw tube, and I agree, David. One of the things I want to try to do this winter is maybe get something going up on Rumble, you know. Brian Smith says he got that message about 5 minutes ago, and Honey Bunny's gotten it too. No idea.
Probably bandwidth issues or whatever. I don't know.
Hopefully that gets better when we move to the new place. We got to talk to them and find out what's going on.
Yeah, we won't be sharing with anybody, and we'll see if we can get good high-speed internet there. If it's not extraordinarily expensive, it should be pretty easy to do. We'll see what the deal is. You'll need to shop around the various.
We actually don't have that
Providers.
many options here. I think the only one we really have is Spectrum.
I don't know. I think we got changed over not too long ago, so that would mean kind of like 2 options. But yeah, I mean, we need to check it out and go from there. But we should have better internet. Oh, let's see.
Things eternal in the heart of
1,800. I was wondering, 1,500 seemed a little short. Anyhow, the situation is, I say, I'm sorry, in terms of mining wise, pretty boring. in terms of other stuff, life's pretty interesting right now.
Hee hee, hoo hoo, see?
Yep. Uh,
Ah.
ouch.
Well, I personally
Oh.
love road trips, as everybody knows.
Oh.
I mean, I am a big fan of road trips. We were playing with live streaming on ourselves on Saturday, Brian says. Well, that's cool. Rock Butcher says 2 long day drive and 1 half day is what it works out to. Yeah, that makes a good amount of sense.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
By the time you came home, you about time to turn around and head back.
Doc says, I've tuned into live streams from time to time. Not sure if you do anything like this, but if I were to send you some ore samples in cash, would you be able to examine it? Lots of labs I can send to per assay, but I'd like to send it to someplace that can give advice on how to process it.
So, as a general rule, Doc, we will be happy to look at something for free. If you just want something, crushed up a bit and split down and hand panned or something, we'll usually do that for free also, assuming we can get to the crusher due to the winter, etc. But usually little stuff, we like doing things to help people out. If you want to donate something, not a problem. I mean, we don't reject money.
And we can do bottle roll tests and stuff if we get something. If we get something crushed up, we can do a bottle roll and test it with the Eco Gold X. And then if you wanted to reimburse for the testing, we can get a chemical analysis on the leach so that you could compare it to a regular fire assay.
Yeah.
That kind of thing. We do that quite a lot.
Yeah, there's a number of things we can do. Do you have our email address so you can write us directly and we can discuss the details and get it all ironed out, such as to what you want done, etc., etc.?
Rock Butcher, that does not sound like a problem to me. I actually like my long periods of radio silence when I'm in the middle of nowhere. When we're like doing a road trip, I'll go back and forth if he's sleeping between not having the radio on at all and just rolling with the nice quiet, or putting the radio on and cranking it. Hi, Mr. Virtue.
Let's see. GA
does some cool stuff. I think they're talking rockets still. We got
Oh.
3 conversations going on at
Okay.
once again.
But anyhow,
Flower Gold Wizard says, Rock Butcher, that's not a problem. Hi, Flower Gold Wizard. How are you? Tell Mrs. Wizard we said hi, too.
yeah, that stuff you were extracting the other day, the yellow stuff looked like gold to me, and whatever the gray stuff is, I'm not sure, but it should be pretty easy to refine it a little bit.
Yeah.
Put up your shingle, Keith. Oh.
Yeah, Doc says he's got no problem donating. He donated 50 last time tuned in, but I think you guys plan on buying silver coins. Yes, I always find something I like.
Oh, yeah.
I really do. And I'll put the email in the comments, so... Yeah, the videos have been really cool lately. Flower Gold Wizard. I've been enjoying them. Darn it. I hate that.
Yeah.
Okay, our video is down there.
That's our email.
Rock Butcher, your only problem is, a problem cost of fuel, yeah. Wage Slave says, do you guys ever use old-fashioned vinegar as a wash? Depends on what I was washing and why, but I have serious vinegar envy right now. When we were at Home Depot today, they had 30% vinegar on sale, and I wanted it.
Yeah.
Flower Gold Wizard says he'd like to get a few grams of it to process further. Yeah, it certainly looked interesting. I mean, it was really cool.
Yeah, there's a lot of things you can do with a furnace, but there's a number of things you can do with just a torch and either a scorifying dish or even a spoon, just a stainless steel spoon.
Yeah, I've really been enjoying Flower Gold Wizards videos lately. They always look really cool. And yeah, David, Jason is really cool to watch.
There's so many Jasons now. Mount Baker, Flower Gold
Happy
Wizards.
Veterans Day, and thank you for all. Yeah, absolutely happy Veterans Day.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, what I like about Flower Gold Wizard situation is you don't expect to find gold where he is, and it's interesting to see how different that gold is from like the placer gold we get around here.
Yeah, it's we generally get a little coarser than some of what he's having to deal with. But that last sample had a lot of real fine stuff. I
Yeah.
would be
That last sample was
checking out. I'd start going upstream and seeing whether that suddenly drops way off, and then checking the banks, because you might be pretty close to a fairly rich deposit. I say, like hard rock, that's kind of what you'd expect to see directly downstream. So I would check that out. There was quite a few particles, and
it was some really interesting stuff. That gray stuff with it was pretty darn interesting.
yeah. So I would work my way upstream, and if it suddenly drops, then come back down and figure out where that changes, and then check the banks and see what happens.
That was in a 50-foot tall pile. Wow.
50-foot tall pile.
Hmm.
Did somebody pile it up, or was it natural? Jason? Because that would be odd if somebody piled it up.
Yeah.
And could you tell, were the rocks in that material, were they rounded from going through water, or were they highly angular, like they hadn't been transported anywhere at all?
Doc says, I've learned a lot from the Wiz. The gold he hunts is similar to what I hunt in Connecticut.
Really? Okay.
Well, it wouldn't surprise me. There's a lot of glacial stuff up there in Northeast. Flower Gold says a natural pile.
Huh. Odd.
Yeah, it does not surprise me, Doc, because there's a rounded, Flower Gold Wizard says. Maybe dredge spoil of some kind?
Nah.
No, not
He
that.
said natural pile.
Mm-hmm.
It could have been dumped there sometime that you had all those glaciers and stuff. What did Rock Butcher say?
Rock Butcher says, yes, indeed. This old infantryman wishes his fellow vets good health. I've always had a problem saying Happy Veterans Day or Happy Remembrance Day. Yeah.
Because it's not happy.
Mr. Virtue says Marines.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. It could be part
Rock
of a
Butcher
moraine.
says nothing happy about it apart from waking up every morning. Mr. Virtue says he jumped on Flower Gold Wizard's channel. Yeah.
I would say good wishes on Veterans Day or whatever. Around here, we have a lot of veterans because the Veterans Hospital is just down the street.
Yeah.
It's less than a mile from here.
Our Boy Scouts are currently raising money to buy coffee for the VA hospital, so.
Yeah, we actually visited someone in that hospital for the first time 2 weeks ago. And doesn't seem highly funded, that's for sure.
Yeah, not very well signed like most of them. But yeah, I mean, it was really. Chris Georgie says 11th hour, 11th day of the 11th month is worth remembering. Waking up every morning is a great thing, Flower Gold Wizard says.
Yeah.
The most I ever say on Veterans Day is thank you for your service.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's I agree. It's not a happy thing.
Doc says washed out marines and eskers can be good, or where the ice dammed lakes broke through loose during glacial retreat. Yeah, there's quite a few areas like that up in New England, Doc. There were a few I remember as a kid in Maine. Didn't find gold, but you found fossils. I had at one point probably 2 or 3 shoe boxes full of shell fossils. You know, rocks with little imprints of shells and little imprints of ferny things in them. Brian says bank vaults in Kentucky are good too. Well, it depends on which bank vault we're talking about.
I'm not exactly sure that there's anything in there.
The one everybody thinks of is the one that's probably empty. Nobody's opened the damn thing for 70 years.
What could possibly go wrong?
Well, I can tell you one thing that's not going wrong. Gold and silver are on sale, so we can all get more of it this week.
Yeah, it dropped after the election, apparently.
But the gas prices are still dropping. We'll see how long this lasts. We will see.
Well, we'll see if he actually gets to take power.
Oh yeah, honey bunny, I'm pretty sure those bank vaults are empty too. Well, I'm waiting to see when the gas price comes out of its typical election day dip. Because this is quite a common occurrence here, but I just want to see how low the gas dip goes post-election day and how long it takes to recover. Rock Butcher says, Flower Gold Wizards, my own company commander, used to lead us in PT every morning, and every morning he greeted us with great day to be alive. Yep. Flower Gold Wizard says, Keith Eva, have you ever gotten a burn from nitric acid? I spilled a drop or two on my fingernail and it turned dark orange/brown.
That staining is quite common. I have had that staining on my skin and stuff without any real serious thing. Wash it off quickly and thoroughly. I mean, in a lot of water. You can also put a little bit of baking soda on it to thoroughly neutralize it. But nitric acid is not the sort of thing where you put a drop on your skin and it's going to eat a whole.
What I usually do is when I'm working with it these days, I keep an actual cup of liquid baking soda and water next to where I'm working. So if it happens, my hand goes right in the water and I do that and it frozen and all good. So I have never gotten stains. He gets stains. The only stains I ever get are silver nitrate.
Yeah.
On a regular basis.
It will stain real easily, but it takes a little while to burn. So
Brian says keep a spray bottle of water close by. Chris says you should always have a bicarb solution handy. Yeah, I'm a big fan
absolutely.
of it. Rock Butcher says glacial moraines are not good sources for gold. You need to find a spot where the moraine's been cut by water. Eskers are, by definition, riverbeds. Yep.
Okay.
And yeah, Brian, water to dilute it. I personally just keep bicarb around.
Yeah.
I always have my baking soda handy.
The problem with dilution is it becomes logarithmically less effective as time goes on, as it approaches zero concentration.
Jeff Bybee says, you know what acid is in bright aluma?
Bright aluma? Oh. I'm not sure. We are going to find out who's quickest.
Don't even know what it is. Bright aluminum.
That would just be
Aluma Bright is a heavy-duty aluminum cleaner. Surface cleaners and acids. Let's see if I can get something. Oxidation remover, surface cleaners, and controlled rate of etching, high foaming and rinsing for cleaning off boats, it looks like. Text sheet. There's a
Aluma Bright, huh?
Yeah, Aluma Bright. Okay, well, that doesn't tell me
You need
anything
an
of use.
MSDS.
Yeah, I know. I'm gonna go back to that and get the SDS.
MSDS.
All it says is SDS, dude. Safety data sheet.
Okay.
Okay. Phosphoric acid,
Phosphoric acid.
ammonium dihydrogen fluoride,
Ammonium dihydrogen fluoride.
non-phenol polyethylene glycol ether,
Yeah, something with glycol and ether stuff.
and 2-butoxyethanol. Butoxyethanol. There we go. So that's all it is.
Probably helps keep it in solution or something.
So yeah, that. Okay. Let's see here. Never probably HF if it's for aluminum oxide. Most Connecticut gold is glacial, besides a couple secret spots. I go up to Maine a lot for gold where it's much better. East Branch, Swift River, and small brooks near the Canadian border produce huge nuggets. Honey says phosphoric acid. Jeff says it's a cleaner a mechanic was using. Chris says oxalics often used in marine applications. Rock Pusher says there will be gold all through moraines, but in such low concentrations you need Ma Nature to help you.
Okay.
So
you need a
Rock
secondary
Butcher says those
concentration.
are all big words like pumpkin. Mr. Virtue says do not gargle.
Okay. No problem.
Chris says, yep, HF made in situ phosphoric for the acid source and some surfactants. Yeah. Well, whatever it is, it look from the pictures that they showed on the website that goes along with the big bottles of this stuff. It's usually used for cleaning marine things. The pontoons on boats is what it was showing. Huh. Jeff Bybee says, thank you. Got a bit on me on hand from picking up container, washing it off, got hand real clean. Yeah. Well, yeah, it would get your hand real clean, I would think.
Yeah, well, and this is why it's not a bad idea to have some bicarbonate of soda slurry or solution around. You know, get that neutralized real quick. Oh.
Brian Smith says, find an eroded bank with the biggest rounded rocks to test. Yeah.
That sounds good. Oh.
But yeah, basically we're hoping to get one more or two more tanks leached before things freeze around here. We got plenty of rock to crush up.
Yeah.
And
quite a few cartridges.
Then it's going to be just winter
to load.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens there.
Then it's just going to be doing winter lab things, and I'm going to see if I can start trying to accumulate some e-waste.
Oh, and
Gary says most of his gold from Southern California is from Canada. Glaciers rule. Yeah. Brian says rusted sand in the mix is a plus. Wage Slave says, I believe soon people will use laser to cut hard rock mines out. The tunnels will be smooth.
I don't know how effective that energy and the coupling is. They've been doing a lot of different things trying to come up with something better than drilling and blasting. And so far, the only thing that's worked out better in some situations is large tunnel boring
Chris says
machines.
you probably don't want to get too much of that on your hands. If you're messing with HF, you really should have something like calcium gluconate on hand.
Why calcium gluconate instead of sodium bicarbonate?
And Doc says there are definitely spots in Connecticut where LiDAR shows quaternary rivers have washed through moraines and eskers, and wherever those still have water and bedrock, gold is much more plentiful. And Honey says a whole lot of gold washed down shores and beaches until it was driven offshore into basins. We do not have a DIY mercury retort gadget yet, Flower Gold Wizards. I want one. I want a mercury retort gadget.
Yeah, the lawyers would probably have a conniption.
Oh, it's really not that. We've got the condenser coil.
Yeah.
I mean, we do have the condenser coil. Got the...
I understand, little one. say, I'm still saying, the lawyers, since you're not supposed to be using mercury anyhow.
Which is why maybe you should email us. And calcium is more attractive to fluorine, although
Okay.
nobody knows exactly why. Calcium will bind with the F minus ion, so it doesn't bind to the Ca2 plus in your body. Okay,
Okay.
that
Sounds
makes
good.
perfect sense.
Oh.
At least it would if I knew my chemistry. Oof. But yeah, I would love to have a mercury retort gadget, strictly for scientific purposes to stare at as part of my historic science collection of stuff, since we're not supposed to ever use them. So we should just collect them to stare at them. Kind of like, you know.
Yeah, you can use just
And yes, a
stand-
DIY mercury retort gadget equals a still. Use it for one or the other purpose, not both.
Oh, definitely on that. But yeah, that's all it is just a still. And I would, you can get a standard condenser, glass condenser, pretty reasonably priced from some sources.
American Science and Surplus sells them.
I know.
Or distilling perfumes. If you want to make your own essential oils, they have a really nice kit.
I would imagine, Chris. Let's see.
There's nothing wrong with retorting HG, just don't be sloppy. Rock Butcher says, don't eat the potato. Yeah.
Yeah. You know that one, right, little one?
Yeah.
Okay. But it's already cooked.
Mercury retort, what's that? Hee hee. Yeah, they sell a really nice distillation kit on American Science and Surplus now and then, but they also sell the individual pieces for actually distilling and making essential oils and perfume type things.
Yeah. And you need to be very careful too when you're doing that. But
And Chris says
nothing
you can
can
get
escape.
glassware easily enough, but for mercury, straight iron is just about perfect.
But you can't see
406
it.
Miner says never roast sulfides in your wife's oven either. Really?
Man.
I have no idea why you'd say that, 406 Miner. I mean, it's not like sulfides will actually get roasted in most household
you ought to
ovens
smell
anyway.
When you're trying to dry resin that's been extracting from Eco Goldex, that's some nasty smell.
Chris says I buy my glassware secondhand at pennies on the dollar.
Sweet.
When I can find it, I do too, Chris.
Oh, there
love
was
it.
that. We forgot. There was that. Or was that this week? The
Oh
state of
man,
Montana thing.
Montana Mineral Society.
No, the yard sale for the
Oh
state
yeah,
of
we
Montana.
did. It's on Friday. It was on Friday
Yeah.
last week.
Exactly. They're selling all their old surplus stuff.
Brian Smith says we just did a water roast. Keith saw it, and Chris says just make sure to use cross polarizers and check for stress before distilling H2SO4 in it. If you roast sulfides, well, my question is this: just how well will sulfides roast in the low temperatures of a household oven? I mean, for scientific purposes.
I would think not very good. I think chemical oxidation would work at those temperatures, I would think.
If you roast sulfides in the oven and you smell garlic, it's not the remnant of garlic bread. Yeah, this is true. Sulfides like higher temps or H2O2 to increase and improve oxidation, but a grinder wheel works at room temperatures. Yeah.
Okay.
Put it on broil. Ah, so that's how you do this. Turn the oven on to clean. Okay. I shall keep this in mind.
Clean up those sulfides.
You know, we don't know if that stove that's out on the porch actually works or not.
I have no
Quite
clue.
possible.
Looks in pretty good shape.
Brian Smith says we used hot water, H2O2, and hydrochloric. Jeff Bybee
Yep.
says, was the estate sale last or next Friday? I believe it was last Friday since I saw the signs
Yeah,
are gone
pretty sure.
now.
Yeah, it was actually the state of Montana. I think they called it the
And
dark
yeah,
sale,
Rock Butcher, I know, I'm joking.
but it's the surplus
They
equipment
produce
sale.
sulfuric acid, which will destroy your oven without cracking to release the gold. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, there's this random electric stove that is sitting out on the porch at the new place. And I'm like,
Yeah, it looks
Yeah.
like it's good. I think they were maybe thinking of moving it into the kitchen and using that instead of that other cooktop or something, but
well, I'll tell you, I don't like that cooktop. I'd love you to plumb in a gas stove if I had my way.
yeah.
And no, I'm not going to do what you did. I'm not that stupid, okay? I'm not blonde, people.
Who are you talking to?
Rock Butcher and 406 who are taking me seriously. No, I know better than to roast sulfites in an oven.
We shall see. It's we have a lot of things to fix.
Well, I will say this, if that oven actually works, we should plug it in outside, and that way when we're canning, we can be cooking.
First, you have to wire heavy gauge wire from the power box to that. Oh, all the outlet, I mean, all the spaces, receptacles in the power distribution box are taken. So you'll need to put in a sub box and a few other things too. It ain't that easy when you're
Okay.
talking an oven. You're talking 50 amps, 220.
Well, I didn't really want the oven anyway.
That
What I
doesn't
actually-
matter. It's a big deal to run a circuit that big. It's not a minor thing.
Yeah, Rock Butcher, apparently 406 didn't know, but yeah, I know better than to do things like that in an oven.
Oh.
Well, if I really had my way, I would have a gas stove put in there. Because it currently has a separate oven. It's one of the older kitchen setups that's got a separate in-the-wall oven and a glass cooktop, which is not going to be good for what I like to do. Wage Slave says the stove outside reaches high enough temperatures to distill your Venus. And 406 says, sure it is. You have 220 for your welder.
Not at this new place yet. There is a 220 volt outlet at the dryer area. I'm not sure exactly what the situation is there. We may or may not be able to get rid of that, go to a gas dryer setup by putting some
I
kind of a
don't know
T in
yet
that.
whether the wall oven works, Chris. I have not even tested the glass stovetop either.
No, we haven't.
It is quite possible that they had that electric stove in where the dryer is supposed to be before
Could
they
be.
moved because everything's broken. We don't know yet.
So it is hard to tell. Yeah.
Chris, I don't know whether it's 30A or 50A. You can ask him.
50 amp for an oven.
No, he asked at the dryer.
30 amp would be a standard dryer outlet. Yeah, 50 amp would be a normal oven outlet.
406 says long extension cord. Yeah.
Actually, I've got a 50-foot extension cord for my welder.
Yeah.
6 gauge. And
I'll
it's
tell
expensive.
you right now, as crazy as this place is wired up and some of the crackhead remodeling we've already seen in there, I have my doubts.
Do you have the slightest idea why they put the coat hanger, or the curtain rod
No.
in the front closet about this high above the ground?
Yeah, I mean, there we were. We're looking at this little front closet area, okay? We're looking at a front closet area, and there's screws in the wall that show that
Into
the
the
curtain
stud.
rod into the studs that show that the rod for hanging your coats on was right where it would be in a normal closet. For some reason, the rod had been removed and put up like 6 inches away from the ceiling, about 8 feet off the floor.
Well, not 8 feet, but yeah, it's about 7 feet up. Yeah, I have no idea. It was ridiculous. It is just bizarre. I mean, we're trying to find where switches control. We have a light fixture that has no switch to it. We have a switch that apparently was supposed to be a light fixture up there, but there's a piece of Romex stubbed out and stapled to the wall without the individual conductors being stripped and capped.
Hi, Kodak, and yeah, you're late again. Chris says run some #1 cables to a spider box. I'll tell you, the wiring in this place is beyond ridiculous.
It's pretty chaotic.
And like a lot of older mobile homes, the switch on the wall right next to the door actually activates the outlet that is furthest from the door.
No, it's further from the door, but in the 2 end bedrooms, it's the outlet right underneath the window as opposed to the outlet on the far wall, which would make a lot more sense.
Now, Rock Butcher says it's probably some guy's wife who said, I think the coat hanging rod should be up here, and Buddy just sighed and said, okay.
I have no
Chris,
clue.
I'd love to do a full rewire. I don't think we'll be able to do a full rewire, but I'd love to.
There are some areas where, again, we were able to remove all the paneling on that wall in the living room pretty easy because it was all just screwed on. About 6 screws per panel.
All different screws.
Yeah, all different screws. None of them in nice, neat rows or anything like that. Just 2 at the upper corners, 2 at the bottom corners, and 2 kind of in the middle sides. That's about it. Not flush. Some were countersunk. Phillips head, and others were panhead Phillips head.
And some of them were square head.
That was in the closet.
Oh yeah, the square head.
That was in the closet.
Chris says we might not have much choice. Yeah, I kind of wonder about. Oh, you don't even want to know what the lights in the kitchen look like, dude. We're talking what?
But there, I think I can actually get up into an attic crawl space.
4 sets of fluorescent lights that are kind of
2 lights on each of 2 switches. Yep.
And exposed, the wiring is just kind of
around across the ceiling.
Around the ceiling. It's bizarre.
Yeah. No, I say the whole thing is pretty bizarre.
Chris said you had a Canadian in the closet. Yeah.
But
no, it's absolutely, it is bizarre. And in the bathroom, what was done to that shower head? The shower head is below the level of my head, and I'm 5'3". Okay. And we got a disabled toilet, one of those really large, really long toilet bowls. It's 18.5 inches that has the smallest sized toilet seat sitting on it. Just kind of there.
Yeah, there's an 1.5 gap at the front edge of the toilet seat. If you were a really good aim, you wouldn't have to pick the toilet seat up. But yeah, it's pretty chaotic.
Oh yeah.
And
I'm still trying to figure out why that beautiful light fixture is hanging from the bathroom ceiling where a fan should be. And the oven hood. Don't forget the oven hood.
Yeah, the oven hood, somebody just took out the fan and shoved insulation up in the duct.
Chris, I don't know if it was a wheelchair-bound occupant. I don't believe so, because there's no other signs of ADA in there anymore.
No, there's no handrails or anything like that.
I want that shower head moved up about 1.5 feet anyway.
I'm going to have a lot of work for my buzzsaw. Vibramax type thing. Oh.
Kodak, the term we're using at the moment for this is crackhead remodel job.
Yeah.
In an old double wide. And I'm not quite sure that I'm being inaccurate about crackhead, because the first thing I noticed when he let me in to look around this place
was all the bars for the doors.
Was the bars for the doors and the bolts on the interior bedroom doors and the sign that says restricted area. But But there's actually a barricade. As in, what is it? A 2x4 or 4x4?
What, on the back door?
The front door.
Front
The
door?
one that's hanging there.
I'm not sure. It's thicker than a 2x4.
Yeah.
It's more like a 3x3 or a 3x4. It's not
Yeah,
quite a 4x4.
there's actually a panic bar that's larger than a 2x4, smaller than a 4x4, that drops in place and has bolts running all the way through it. So yeah,
Oh,
it may well have been a crack house. I don't know. I know it wasn't a meth house because it doesn't smell like one. It smells like a dog kennel.
One thing I do like is in one of the smaller bedrooms in the back, there is a trap door to get you into the crawl space underneath the trailer.
Wait,
That is something really
yeah, a demovation would probably do real well. Chris says a bear bar. Brian says circus wiring. Oh, David says we need videos. Yeah, I can get you videos, dude. I can get you pictures so you can see the crackhead house. I mean, that kitchen ceiling, I took one look and I was like, dear Lord, what's going on here?
Oh my goodness. Yeah, it's going to be fun figuring out. I know there's some outlets that clearly have had
But it has a
plugs put in them that
fireplace.
shorted out a little bit, so we'll have to replace the outlets too.
See, Dave says, David Villa says, unbelievable. This is a picture it didn't happen situation. We know that. And Brian Smith says, yeah, a live tour. I will make sure we get you video this week, guys, so you can laugh your asses off.
What did you take pictures of today? Just the selection of screws?
The ceiling and the selection of screws. I can get that on the computer right now.
Yeah, she can work on that.
And his selling point for this, he looks at me with this wonderful look and says, there's a fireplace. I know you're going to like that.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
She will. I've got to,
Oh, yeah, I'm going to love the fireplace.
yeah.
We're
So,
going to need the fireplace.
I say I got to put a new rain cap on the vent for the fireplace. I got to clean it all out, check out the firebox, and make sure that's okay. I'm going to have to look at the thing here. Sounds like a cocaine. No peoples that I can see.
I didn't even see a peephole on the front door.
Yep.
Which surprised me.
Yeah, it's got a fireplace. Up here, fireplaces are very common, so are wood stoves for heating. Absolutely.
Even in mobile homes.
Yep. It's on the list. Absolutely, Kodak. So, we're going to thoroughly inspect. The flue is in good shape. We need to put on a new rain cap, and we need to inspect the firebox and possibly rebuild it. I don't know. I'll make sure that it's in good shape before we do anything.
Yeah, I've got a whole selection of good pictures here to show y'all. Y'all are going to be...
I haven't seen that yet, 406, but there is a ceiling light, I presume screwed up to the ceiling in one of the small bedrooms that has a plug hanging from it. Obviously, you needed to plug a cord into it. So, yeah, that's pretty good. Well, Jean-Francois, I think the reason that metal prices have come down is because a lot of people have more confidence that Trump is going to get things under control. I'm not absolutely certain at this point, but maybe.
Regardless, it means metal is on sale. And who was it? Was it Bloomberg who said, something about if something's a good investment when the price drops, you're like, oh, hell yeah, it's on sale.
Chris, the chimney pipe goes directly up from the fireplace to the rain cap, and it's in a space. That's all I know. I'm not sure what to do there. Let's see. Boom. Yeah, the whole situation, Jean-Francois, is pretty
Okay.
bizarre right now.
I got pictures in the computer. I'm going to get them out of the email right now.
Okay.
Look for mold. Yeah, well, we already know there's mold there, dude.
Oh yeah.
We totally know there's mold.
Yeah, there's a little bit. They put a new roof on it about 5 years ago, but it's clear that the old roof was leaking in a few places before they did that.
Oh, and don't forget the, whatchamacallit.
And underneath it, where there was water leaks and stuff like that, there's clearly some mold there. I've sprayed bleach on it. I'll be spraying some more. But yeah, they had some freshwater leaks. They had some sewer leaks. They had a variety of issues.
Oh, good grief.
I had to replace some.
That's right. I
Freshwater.
cannot send them from my fucking phone.
Oh, because I think, well, just get your phone over here and put it in front of the camera. I mean,
They're not going to be able to see a thing that way, dude.
I don't know. It depends on how focused the camera is.
Let me try something.
Okay.
No, I can't do it that way. Okay, well, I'm going to get the other thing up so you can keep talking to people.
Okay. So anyhow, but yeah, I spent almost a week underneath it. It took a day just cleaning stuff out. I have 5 large trash bags of crap that I brought out there. Why? That'd be a little hard. We'll stroke. Oh, could you give me my magnifying glass, please? I can't frickin' read anything.
Use the wood deck cleaner for mold mitigation. Yeah. We're getting technical. Whatchamacallit. Yeah. Yeah, Rock Butcher. I use the F word occasionally.
But did Eva?
Yeah, I use the F word.
Probably.
Well, the thing that's going on there, if any of you tech people can explain this to me, okay? Every time I try to sign back into my email account, my Hotmail account on my phone, it immediately, even when I use the right password, and I wrote the password down even, it says you've been locked out of your account because you have tried to log in too many times. So I have to reset my damn password and come up with a new one. And then if I want to get into Hotmail on anything other than my phone, the exact same thing happens. So at the moment, I can't use my freaking phone to send email, which is ridiculous.
Actually, Eva does speak a little French. I don't. I speak Spanish.
Yeah, I speak French. Very little French.
Yeah.
And so what I had to do this time is because one of Bear's accounts is signed in on my phone. I had to use that email and see if that works. But I am very, very annoyed because I have not been able to use, if I use my email on the computer, I get locked out and I have to reset my password. No matter where I try to use my freaking email, I get locked out. And I'm very, very annoyed.
Yeah? It's kind of annoying, all right.
Yeah.
Did it get through?
Well, I'm not seeing it.
Yeah. It should be at the top there with the blue lettering in that second major column there. Yep.
Yeah, I know it should be, okay?
Oh, well. Doesn't seem to be working too good. That's been such a pain sometimes. Yep. But we'll see what we can do. But, yeah, it's, this definitely a work in progress.
Let me see if I can find something here.
But, Yeah, I got the sewer pipe that was broken loose and broken, cut out, replaced and braced up, and the fresh water supply lines that were leaking replaced and not leaking. And then I had to put up all the insulation again. Well, I had to cut out the old stuff, which was kind of all torn up, put up the new insulation and new vapor barrier and such. So yeah, it was quite a lot of work underneath there. Luckily, it's not real short. I mean, I can actually move around mostly on hands and knees,
Okay,
so that's good.
let's see what we got here. And bonsoir, Jean-Francois. And yes, I do speak French, as in cursing too. Rock Butcher says you got to get your eyeballs done like I did. I can see the moons around Jupiter without a telescope. Can't read fine text though, so I bought a $10 pair of cheaters.
Well, have you had radial keratotomy before? What did you have? I presume LASIK. Since I've had radial keratotomy before,
Gary says switch to AOL.
they really can't fix it too well with LASIK, apparently.
Brian, well, we're renting this. It's a long story.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean,
oh. So, anyhow, as I have spent more time than I wanted underneath the
see, it says it was
trailer up
sent to
till
you.
now. Says it went through, huh?
Yeah, it says it was sent. It's in the sent file. All I can assume is because it's,
May just
big.
be delayed.
It may just be delayed. Or it landed in junk mail. I don't see anything in junk.
Yeah. What did it come from?
From Wild West Kettle Corn, dude.
Mm,
It's the only email I can access right now on my phone.
Shouldn't have gone to junk then. Yeah. Anyhow, so yeah, I need to say the mold issue underneath can basically be done pretty easily because it's on dirt, and it's not. Let's say the situation's not horribly complex. Just gonna take quite a while. Oh, geez.
And it's just crazy to see, the way it is. We're getting it for cheap, Brian. Rock Butcher says they cut my eyeballs open, sucked out the lenses I was born with, and inserted new ones. Yeah.
Oh, well, that's
He had that
cataract
done,
surgery.
but
Yeah, I did that, but say they couldn't do much because of the radial keratotomy. The corneas are not consistent. Let me show you what I mean.
yeah, he will do a diagram here.
Radial keratotomy. If here's your eyeball, and here's your pupil, and here's your cornea, what they did is make some incisions in the cornea to get it to change its shape. The problem is each one of these zones here has a slightly different shape.
And the eye doctor said he had never seen anybody with as many cuts as this dude had.
Yeah.
Because this dude got his radiokeratotomy done by somebody whose career before he became an eye surgeon was being a fucking Olympic swimmer.
Well, that was what he did to get through college, I think. But I think
it's
I think
ridiculous.
his name was Gary Hall. It was in Phoenix.
Kodak says he had a 16-penny nail in his left pupil. Yikes.
Well, that's not good. You're not supposed to do that. Okay? So, anyhow, because of that, it becomes very complicated to correct for it. And say, like with this right eye here, right now I'm seeing about 6 different images. You have a primary and a couple secondaries that are fairly good. But I mean, if you have like a point source of light, yeah. Now, if I'm if I'm riding down the road at light,
Rockbridger says his most used cuss word is nowadays a doggy doo, but when I hit my thumb with a hammer, all bets are off. I usually say frog instead of the other F word.
Yeah.
But this whole situation with my stupid phone and my email is just so annoying.
Yeah. But anyhow, so when I'm going down the road at night, oncoming traffic at about, I don't know, 700 feet, 750 feet roughly, it's like two sets of headlights coming at me, a bright one and a dimmer one. It's that far off. And so that just makes for very complicated stuff.
Only 6, Honey says. She sees 8.
Yeah.
Gary says, just aim for the middle one.
Well, that would be cool if I could resolve what the middle one was.
Yeah.
That's the biggest
Rocky
problem.
Mountain Prospector says, hello, everyone. Hi, Rocky
Hi,
Mountain.
Rocky Mountain.
Anybody got any mining questions, by the way?
Yeah.
Yeah, oncoming traffic looks like a flower coming at him.
Yeah.
Or thereabouts.
Yeah. Actually, it looks like a series of vehicles at different elevations and different horizontal locations. Oh, yeah. It gets less than ideal. So, as I say, it's just something they can't readily correct with glasses or whatever. Now, just, what was it, 2 days ago, see, I had cataract surgery in both eyes, and they put implants in and then theoretically improve things, but with the Arcator so much. But the left implant was actually getting hazed over again.
Brian Smith says he has an announcement.
What?
Give us your announcement.
And so they took a laser and removed the haze.
And Wage Slave asked, do you notice an increase of other senses due to your vision loss?
No.
Well, I can tell you one thing. He does not have a good sense of smell. So it did not work well.
Not really, although ever since I've worked in mining, I use my ears to keep track of like equipment around me and stuff like that.
Jean-Francois said, how many gals do you see in your bedroom at night?
I better only see one.
He sees 6 images of the same goddess.
Oh my goodness.
Rock Butcher says, he has a mining question. How do I find a gold mine? Asking for a friend who might be called David Villa. Well, you put up a map of the world on the wall, and you get a whole collection of darts. And then you put on a blindfold, take a whole lot of drinks, and spin around several times, and then throw the darts.
No. If I was going to start from scratch, first of all, decide where would be acceptable. Do you need it within a certain range or something like that? And then I go to the records.
Kodak
And start
says,
looking
hard
at
to believe Jason and mine moved those hundreds of bags of ore. Yeah. That was quite the interesting project he's got going there. 406 says, next year we need to hook up and get up to Spider Mine for your input. I would love that.
Be happy to.
Jeff Bybee says, funny, coming out of Vegas tired, I saw 4 images pulled over when the 5 images of the road appeared.
Yeah. That's not good.
Oh.
So.
Yeah, I believe Brian said he had an announcement, and he has not announced yet.
Man. Tease. Must be like one of those women with the 4B movement.
I'm going to have to give up and mess with my stupid email again. I'm running out of new passwords, so. We're going to start an Eco Goldex leach in a vat on Saturday at 12 p.m. live stream on Boss Recreational Mining. Cool.
Cool. And
okay, if we are home, we are going to watch that.
yeah, let's say if I when is it going to be? Did he say Saturday?
Saturday at noon live stream. Noon whose time, Brian?
I think he's either on Mountain or
He's on
Pacific.
Colorado time.
I think
Shane
so.
says he's just here taking it all in. Well, after all the work you did with all that soybean and harvesting, I don't blame you.
Yeah.
Doc, I have a couple of sets of dowsing rods, and I was playing with them last year. I haven't gotten serious. I personally, I've known plenty of water witches. I've never known a gold witch or a silver witch. So,
Yeah.
Rock Butcher says, wow, we can all sit around and watch gold leech. Well, you know, Rock Butcher, I mean, if it did something interesting while it was leaching, like made bubbles or something like that, you know. I mean,
We shall see.
I have seen the videos they did where they were using it on electronics. And you know, you could see it bubbling and you could see the gold disappearing off the circuit boards, but
I like the stuff where they
Shane
use the
says
gold
she's
leaf.
got a question. How do you think the old timers found it? I use dowsing rods all the time. Well, it's my personal opinion, Shane, that they may well have had witchers who could find it with dowsing rods.
Can I
It would
speak?
not surprise me. Yeah.
The most common way was what they called loaming, where you start in the drainages and you check drainages till you find one that has some gold in it. Then you go up the drainage, testing as you go until the gold drops in concentration. Then you test the soils on the side of the drainage and see where it's coming from and follow it up to the source. That was one of the big things. I know that Tricky Dicky says he's got some dowsing rod designs that are highly effective, according to him.
Rock Butcher says, I'm a solid believer in witching. I've witched diamonds in pockets in the bedrock in Africa. I am a witch. I am a believer in witching as well. I have not had the opportunity to learn as much as I would like or practice as much as I would like. And yeah, Kodak, all of us want 10 ounces per yard.
That's right. It's one of those things I believe that some people can do it. I know some people believe they can do it but can't. I've seen that for sure also. I have yet to see someone actually witching stuff where I can actually observe them doing it. But I've talked to too many people who have either done it themselves or had watched other people to discount it. And we've tried some testing ourselves, and we haven't had any success at this point, but we have kind of limited abilities. But I would not be surprised if they didn't do some witching in the past too. But loaming is the one that we know of.
Funny Bunny says she avoids witching, and Brian says in a Bateau tank, and Kodak says witching, get a stick and look for a witch. Well, yeah. Honey Bunny says she could do it. She's religiously opposed. 406 says I just dig dirt where gold's been found.
Yeah.
Well, I will say this. I mean, we did quite a lot of loaming up there on top of the hill. Shane says, I got told there was no water on my property in Kansas, and the well driller swore up and down in the geologists and all these clowns. I wished to that well, and it was 50 feet from the cabin, although it was. You can make all the super special witching sticks you want. I take 2 brazing rods and bend them, and that's what I use. Some people can do it, others can't. Well, I definitely feel something when I use my rods. My biggest problem with my current rods is they're a little long for my short arms, being a chick and all. And Shane got 3 gallons a minute. That's good. Jean Francois says 27 karat gold plated titanium carbon fiber racing dowsing rods. Chris Georgie says all you need is a hat and a nose. Gary says empirical evidence. Yeah.
I don't have any personally. I would love to find someone who was theoretically, or they say I can reliably find stuff that's buried, and then go out there and like bury a 1 ounce silver coin or whatever in a smoother and rake it smooth like you would with a sand trap type rake, and then go out there and see if they can find it, and then reposition, see if they can find it again, and like that, and get some statistics on it. But yeah, that is a situation where I would love to have someone who was supposedly good at it and test them out. If
Shane says I use brazing rods, bronze preferably. And Chris asked Kodak why he weighs the same as a duck.
Yeah. But that's the sort of thing that I would love to test. We have done some minimal testing. We haven't had any success with it ourselves, but the situations may also
the trick
have
with
not been
witching is
anything.
you have to set yourself a piece first and picture in your head what you're looking for, and then walk the ground. That's pretty much what I always do, Rock Butcher. Like I said, my particular problem is when I hold my hands in the most comfortable position to channel that energy feeling through my feet, because my rods are a little too long, they have a tendency to interfere with each other. So I do need a shorter set. I would like to get a set that I make that's myself, that works with me. 406 says, what else floats in water?
Sodium, styrofoam, all kinds of stuff.
Very small stones. Pumice.
Pumice, yeah, that would work.
Wageless says, we are electrical beings. Yes, we are. We are bioelectric.
And say, I honestly don't know, but I know that
406 says apples and churches.
say there's people who have done some scientific testing on call it paranormal phenomena and came up with some statistically highly anomalous results. So say I'm a call it soft believer. I believe in it, but I'm not absolutely convinced of it. But it seems like the more likely hypothesis at this point in time, in my opinion. And that's all it basically is at this point. I don't have any convincing evidence. But I would love to find some. That would be cool. That's another thing we might be able to do somewhere is set up a thing where we bury one of your silver rounds, where one of us buries it. And now the other thing you have to do for control is when, let's say it was me and Eva, it'd be better to have 3 people, okay? So you have me and Eva. I go out there while she's wandering around
Says
somewhere
your
else.
mind's got to be totally blank, and when I hold my rods and they come around and hit me in the arms, I dig right behind my heels.
Yeah. And then
Mr. Virtue says, show us again the crystals Eva has, please.
okay.
I will bring some of my good-looking dudes over so
Okay.
that he can show them off for you.
Anyhow, I say if I was to bury it and then smooth off the surface to where you couldn't see where it was, then she goes out there with me not watching and tries to locate it. The reason being, either she might pick up on subconscious signals or there might be something to telepathy. I don't know.
Here. Show off the conglomerate, dude.
Yeah. Hello. There we go. Yeah, this is kind of in matrix and stuff. Those are quartz crystals. Pretty good sized.
Show off this dude with his little end pieces. And
Where are we at? There we are. Okay, Brian. I was actually just trying to blank my mind entirely, but that might not have been the best thing.
no.
Say, I don't know. I'd like to find someone who says, yes, I can reliably do that. and then
Now this one's
test
got
them.
that interesting squared off shape that some of them have.
Which one?
The 90-degree corner on the bottom, dude. How can you miss that?
Well, I see lots of different cleavage planes. What are you talking about? Well, yeah, those are two different
Yeah.
things with two different planes. That's where two feldspar crystals were, but I don't know.
Now this is another interesting dude. He's got all kinds of craziness going on.
Yeah, I remember the horse that did math. Yep. Absolutely.
Now this one's got a multiple point sticking straight up.
So let's see, we got these crystal clusters here. Anyone comes to town as you're coming through, if you want a crystal cluster, let us know.
There we go.
We'll be happy to give you one.
Jeff
Ooh, this one's
Bibey's-
real small.
Yeah.
That's delicate there.
Yeah. Those are those little itty bitty guys. And there's that super clear point that I found.
Yeah. None of them are terribly big. Exactly, David.
Well, those are just some of them. I mean, we got many around here.
Yep.
But anyway,
Yeah.
yeah, those are some of my dudes. I have tons of them. Well, not tons, I wish. I have hundreds of pounds.
Yeah, she's got quite several buckets of them. So, yeah, so if anyone's coming through town, let us know.
Yeah, I've got some really nice specimens, Mr. Virtue.
Yeah.
I mean,
Some of them are really quite
I
nice.
like my crystals.
Yep.
I am very happy. I'm checking a news article here about a few things.
So anyhow, let's see. Quartz, I'm pretty sure. Rock. That long skinny one there, looks like quartz to me. It's hexagonal.
Yeah, they're all quartz. I have not found any selenite yet. I wish.
He said scheelite.
No, it says selenite.
Selenite?
Yeah.
Oh, you're
I
right.
love selenite, personally.
Yeah.
Oh, I bet they have witches over there, water witchers and metal witchers over there in Mongolia.
I would think.
I would think it seems to be something that shows up in just about every culture.
Just about every, when you need something and somebody can find it reliably. It's just like in some cultures you have some people who are really good at fishing or hunting or whatever. And there are certain people that, for example, fishing, it's like throw it right there, shoot, dunk, and they just seem to do it. So I'm convinced there's more to it than what I know. She didn't know about it, huh? Wow, that's interesting.
Huh, that's really interesting. Selenite is magnitudes more valuable than scheelite.
Yeah, but selenite is awfully soft. These are harder than steel, so definitely quartz.
Yeah, these are quartz.
Yep.
And boy, I have some. I still have to clean the ones that are on the
You got
board.
a lot to clean. Yep.
Yeah. I have to
Oh.
clean the ones that are in solution out on the porch, but they're those heavy,
Yeah. You got a lot to clean. Then we got a lot to move to the new place, and then you can keep cleaning over there. At least you got a nice covered porch to work with.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got just a bunch more room to do things over there. It'll be great. We'll be able to get a lot more done. It will be nice. Say, especially, we'll see about building a modest little lab in one of the bedrooms, and that will allow us to do like stripping and everything like that right there. We'll probably set up the furnace out on the front porch.
Well, I think we are going to have to, if we think about it when we're over there tomorrow or at some point here, we need to at least turn on the oven and turn on the stove and see if they actually work.
Probably be a good idea.
That would probably be useful at this point.
Wouldn't hurt. But yeah, we just got loads of stuff to do.
Yeah, crystal quartz.
Yep.
And they are Mr. Virtue.
Yep.
Now, Lauren mentioned that since I have a furnace, I might want to consider subjecting these guys to some heat to see if it causes any color change in them. So if anybody has any insight as to what kind of temperatures I'd have to produce, I certainly would like to know. And Wage Slave, I can tell you this, a couple of them, I don't tap these boys together because these dudes, some of them are extraordinarily fragile. Good night, Rock.
Take care, Rock. Drive safe.
The matrix they're in is quite fragile. But I will say this, when I was breaking up some of the bigger massive quartz that we crush, I was getting sparks off my hammer and it was glowing. So, hi AAA. Howdy, howdy. So if anybody has any insight into what you would need to do to heat treat crystals, or a nice link to something, because it is something I've actually looked at. There's a couple of these dudes that I kind of wonder, you know.
Well, when we were teenagers, we were going out quail hunting over near Telegraph Pass. As we were driving up and down the washes, we were collecting, massive quartz rocks for landscaping at our friend's house. And when we would offload them and throw them on the ground, they hit each other at night. You could see the flashes of light. So it was kind of cool. The whole rock would glow for an instant when they'd hit. That's about it that I can think of. But yeah, if anyone's coming through town and you can do some dowsing, I'd love to see it. And if anyone out there can do some dowsing, it'd be an interesting thing to demonstrate. I never actually looked on YouTube for dowsing things, but it's awful hard if you don't trust the people to be honest,
Kodak says, I don't need rods. All I do is concentrate. Example, go for a walk, witching for lost goodies in the street. Many times I go to the other side of the street and I'm a few steps from a coin. Well, it's interesting that you mentioned feet, Kodak, because I've been following my feet when we're up there at top of the hill. And the funniest thing that happens is my feet take me to claim corners and claim markers.
Yep.
I mean, it is just.
You can switch to my.
It is just rather bizarre. My feet I'll be walking along and I'm like, feet want to go that way, and I follow my feet, and next thing I know, I'm at somebody's old claim corner or somebody's old claim marker from a gajillion and a half years ago. I have never yet find monuments. I have not found monuments, but my feet find claim corners.
Yeah, I mean, and I've seen it happen where, I've got my coordinates and I figure it's over there, and she goes, no, I think there's something over there. And we go over there and it's like there's somebody's claim corner. It's like, okay. And yeah.
Yeah.
She seems to be good at that.
the feet find claim corners. I have no idea why.
So you can also always find the quad, but then since we left it, you could attribute that to subconscious navigation.
Yeah,
Yeah.
except that there are times when my feet have taken me in circles.
Ow, ow, ow. God damn it.
I have I have found scat. I mean, I have most definitely found scat. But when it comes to him saying, I can always find the quad, considering that sometimes my feet will have me walking in circles. Like one day he left me alone, and I was up there marking every single trench and every dog hole that I came to, and I ended up when I put all the coordinates into Google Dirt, it was like following the path of a drunken Indian. And I still ended up back at the darn quad.
Yeah. But again, you still can't rule out subconscious stuff
can't.
at that point.
Nope. And I will also say this. I don't know if it happens to Kodak here, but I know with me, my combat boots act very different in terms of where my feet want to take me than my winter boots do or my regular hiking boots do. They all have a different they all I don't even know if I can explain this, but they seem to be queuing on different things.
Like what?
I don't know.
Well, you say they work differently, so
Yeah,
obviously you
the combat boots will show me claim markers. They won't show me anything else put by people. Well, yeah, they also show me, the combat boots also show me dog holes, and the combat boots show me human things, but I also get a feeling of deep under.
Okay.
Brian says would love to see a live stream of this. I can't live stream from the middle of nowhere, dude.
No, yeah, we couldn't do a live stream with the technology we have. But we could theoretically do a video. We've actually tested, I say up there at the dozer push area, we tried dowsing, and when I dug on the marks and stuff, we didn't find anything.
Yeah, it's not that I
substantial.
can't feel anything with the dowsing rods. I just don't know exactly what they're queuing on, and I think part of the problem is they're too large. I want to make smaller ones.
Easy enough to do.
Because I certainly feel them pulling, and I certainly feel them vibrating and pushing. But my feet are far more reliable when it comes to finding claim corners.
Yeah.
For some bizarre and unaccountable reason.
Yep, you're pretty good at that. Yeah, let's say that would be an interesting thing. I don't know. Be nice if we could find a spot that was fairly soft soil that I could, rake, etc., and then go out there and set something. I don't know. Keep reminding us of that. Maybe we'll be able to pull something up here in the not too distant future. Aside from that, it's interesting times we're living in here.
Brian says would love to see the magnetometer used at the same time as rods. Now that would be interesting if I had a magnetometer. Stormfront Spa says if you enter an area and let yourself wander around randomly while searching, walking randomly out has a high probability if intersecting your entry point, the quad. Physics, we call that the random walk. Yeah. No beaches in our area. Well, yeah, there are beaches. Like Canyon Ferry Lake, there are lake beaches. So.
I don't think we have any like sand beaches anywhere. There's no really sandbars or anything that I'm aware of. It's all rocky.
Oh yeah.
Stuff. But yeah, I mean, Again, it's one of those things that it's kind of low on the priority list at this point in time. But another thing that would be nice would be if we had a metal detector, then we couldn't possibly lose the coin. Although if I put it fairly shallow, it'd be pretty easy to rake back up. Oh,
Sunset beaches. No idea what you're trying to say there, David.
yeah. I'm not sure. But yeah, that's about it. Say that and watching.
Yeah, sons of beaches.
Okay.
Okay, got that one.
Okay. The it's fun watching the Democrats become election deniers. It's funny. They're like, we need to audit these elections, to which they're like going, sounds good to us. We don't trust computers. Yeah. Welcome to the party. It's quite amazing. On the other hand, there's quite a few people out there.
George Francois says, I'm listening while laying round steak thin slices in the dehydrator for pemmican. Cool.
Sweet. But
we kept the house.
What's freaking a lot of people out is that they've been told and they have believed that Trump is going to be a totalitarian dictator, that women are going to... I was talking to a woman the other day.
Yeah, J6 2.0, honey. And hopefully they don't get away with it.
And she was honestly and legitimately terrified for the future, because she thought women were going to be oppressed. It's going to be like The Handmaid's Tale, blah, blah, blah. And scared people do radical things. They commit suicide, they commit homicide, then suicide. They do all kinds of things that are unpredictable.
Mr. Virtue says, talking about shorelines from lakes and rivers.
Yeah.
Well, we've got most of our lake shorelines. I've seen a couple of them by campgrounds that are sand.
Yeah, that would be fine. Just take a large
The
rake.
majority of them are really small gravel or cobble.
Yeah.
And the same with the rivers.
Yeah, exactly, honey bunny. But say there's a lot of people who are legitimately terrified. Now, I'm not saying legitimately in terms of they have reason to be, but I'm really saying they are honestly terrified. That creates problems. You got a lot of people who are looking at the election results and going, that doesn't make sense. Me personally, I agree with some of them, like in Arizona. Why would tens of thousands more people vote for Senate than they would for president? Doesn't make much sense to me. But I would welcome thorough audits of all this stuff. And apparently the Attorney General of Texas is planning on doing just that and prosecuting anyone who broke the law.
Kodak says, when does stupid cross over to crazy and vice versa? Okay, Kodak.
Crazy always seems stupid, but stupid isn't necessarily crazy. Right now we have a lot of crazy.
We have a lot of seriously crazy because we're in the middle of a mass psychosis event, the largest one in human history, as a matter of fact. So many of these people are, in fact, functionally psychotic. They are delusional enough that they believe their nutballness.
Well, and they can't
and the problem
see
with
the
psychotics
truth.
is when psychotics have a psychotic break, they either decide to self-delete, usually, or they decide to delete the people that cause them to have a psychotic break. With any luck, they go for option 1 rather than option 2 followed by option 1.
Yeah.
But these people are not sane. Okay? They are not sane. there are some people out there that are absolutely sane and are just playing along with this because if you don't, you get fired, you get canceled, etc. And yeah, lots of crazies are going to try to move to Canada. Good luck with that.
We'll see how Trudeau does it. But yes, I understand.
But there are plenty of them that genuinely believe, like the lady that he met outside our polling station that was almost crying because she was convinced that we were now in the air. Yeah, she thought we were in the Handmaid's Tale. She was that nuts.
Yeah.
And like the crazy dude that I saw at Walmart. This was ridiculous, people. We were at Walmart yesterday. And along comes this dude who had that vacant 1,000-yard stare that psychotics get. He was wearing pink fuzzy slippers and bizarre leggings. They had some sort of cartoon characters all over them. Leggings. And a fuzzy purple bathrobe over a tank top and a full face of makeup, and his hair looked like it had not been washed since some time before Election Day. He smelled like he had not washed himself since some time before Election Day. So, yeah, even here in little Helena, Montana, we have a few actual nutballs out there.
Yeah, I'll say so. Anyhow, things are unstable as I expected. Now, you said that we have taken the house? Little one?
Huh?
Did you just say we have taken the house?
Yes, we have taken the house.
So apparently...
Not by much, but we've taken the house.
We currently have... How many house seats are still outstanding?
That's what I'm about to look up.
Okay, she's looking it up. But basically, apparently the Republicans have the House for what good it does us because of Uniparty. I would suggest that you might want to call your senators and let them know that
the map has not updated yet. We were 205 to 214, so it must have updated again.
okay.
We were 4 away according to this, but somebody just put in a note.
Okay, so we don't know yet.
And we don't know.
Unconfirmed.
Yeah.
Well,
By the way.
could I finish a thought before you interrupt?
All right.
Okay. Everyone should call their senators. They're going to elect a new Senate majority leader like Wednesday night at midnight with a secret ballot. Just tell them we're not into secret ballots. You vote for who you think is right, and we'll judge whether or not we think that was right. But they want to do it by secret ballot. Baloney. Okay? We elected you, and we can watch over your shoulder. So let them know we are not going to calmly accept, oh, we say this is what happened.
Well, Shane, you can still call your senators even though they're woke. I've already put messages into both of mine because both of mine are acting like idiots right now. The point is, we should have open ballots.
Transparency.
Yeah.
If they want to elect a globalist, fine. Let us know who voted for that so we can work to get somebody else. If you think it's a great idea to elect XYZ, then, you shouldn't be afraid to show everybody that you voted for XYZ.
Well, Kodak, I emailed mine and I have sent messages to them on Twitter, well, the platform formerly known as Twitter. And I'm going to be calling DC again tomorrow because, of course, all the voicemail boxes were full today. Because if nothing else, these people need to know that we are keeping an eye on them. Especially since they went on, apparently, one of those yo-yos, or more than one of those yo-yos, whined to Politico and said that they did not appreciate being bullied by a pack of internet trolls. Now, let's just parse this out
Must
here.
be garbage.
Asking these people to actually do their job and, choose a Senate majority leader who is, in fact, on board with at least provisionally on board with supporting Trump is better than choosing a Senate leader who was not on board at all and has a Liberty score down in the 30s. Okay, so it's not bullying here, and it's not bullying to contact your senator who you voted for because you're a constituent. And yes, last I checked, there's a difference between a group of internet trolls and constituents with legitimate concerns. And yeah, Shane, my trust level on any politician is somewhere between negative 10,000 and you've got to be frigging kidding me, okay? I don't trust any of them.
No, and
That's not the
especially,
point.
there's a lot of pressure being applied directly or indirectly right now. There's so many of them that have done inappropriate things, we can call it, that they don't want to take the chance that somebody could hold them to account. I've also heard today, haven't heard confirmation, but basically that Trump is talking to a number of people in the medical science community about certain products that were recently on the market.
Kodak says, I don't talk to politicians. I'm afraid it might be contagious.
Yeah, I had a friend once who told me, Keith, if you ever run for office, I won't vote for you because I hate to see a good man go bad. But yeah. Anyhow, we're in a very tumultuous situation right now between now and election day. Inauguration day. Expect to see a lot of crap.
Shane says, we owe Charlie Kirk and Joe Rogan. Yes, we do.
And who's that guy?
And Scott Pressler.
Scott Pressler.
Scott Pressler should get
off.
Scott Pressler should get a Medal of Freedom. That dude was everywhere in freaking Pennsylvania. And oh, by the way, he has now decided that for the next election, 25, 26,
Yeah.
he's going to New Jersey to sign up Republicans.
There you go. No, he really has done what you could call the Lord's work when it comes to getting people signed up. He got out the Amish vote and stuff like that. Really, really worked hard.
3 times, 3 different groups tried to recruit me, and I still have no idea why.
You can have your governor.
Minnesota, yeah, we don't want your governor.
Maybe he'll
Sorry.
move to some
Canada.
zip code in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean.
Maybe he'll move to
We can hope.
Canada.
Oh, the rock pusher's mad at you now.
Oh no, they'd never let him in.
I got a better idea. Why don't he move to Gaza?
Well, you see, my thought is this. What I find most amusing about this whole thing
Mhm.
is all the leftists that are beginning to come out whining and bitching because they wanted to move to Australia or Canada or someplace in Europe or Sweden or the UK, and they're now discovering that other places, dear Lord, actually have immigration policies that they actually enforce. You know? Just saying.
So, yeah, let's say it's quite the interesting times we're living in. If Trump survives to inauguration, if he gets inaugurated, and they're working hard to make sure that doesn't happen, then he still has a tremendously difficult job ahead of him. So, let's say it's a very unpredictable time, and we shall see what happens. So, as I say, it's been an interesting week. It'll continue to be interesting for the next couple of months, and then, as I say, either way the inauguration goes, Trump, assuming he gets inaugurated, will still have a tremendously challenging job
Oh,
to do.
wow.
But
And for some bizarre reason, AOC wants to know what the names of the accounts and podcasts that Trump voters listen to are. Gee.
I have no idea why she would want to, but oh well.
Because she's trying to get them killed.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she's going to try to get us censored before Biden wanders out of office or Kamala wanders out of office or whoever. One candidate won in all the no ID states. Yeah, exactly. Well, Jean-Francois,
Yeah.
I know, we all here know that the election process in the United States is, it's a clown show, okay?
Yeah.
It's an insane clown posse, and not the kind that makes music.
I agree with you, Jean-Francois. Hopefully the fact that the lefties lost and are upset about it, they're now blaming bad election systems. Hopefully we can now get on the same page and come up with election systems that are very, very hard to game. You know? So that might work to our advantage in the future. I say if we can take their anger and frustration and turn it into cleaner and more transparent and harder to falsify elections, that would be a good thing. And it would be hilarious to see how the Democratic leadership responds to such a impetus.
Well, we are discussing the two front runners for the Senate vote at the moment.
Is one of them the good one or the bad one?
I said the two front runners.
Well, are those the two bad ones?
Yeah.
Okay.
Of course, because don't get me wrong, Rick Scott is not all that great either, but at least his Liberty score is up in the 90s instead of down in the 30s.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, of course they will.
They will try. That is sure. Yep.
Yeah, we need justice for Peanut.
I will agree.
Exactly.
Honey bunny.
And yeah, Shane, we saw gas today. We have gas prices at $2.99.
Yep.
3 days before the election, we had gotten down to $3.32. So we've dropped 33 cents since 2 days before the election. Eggs this week, Brian, we're running $10.48 at Walmart still.
For 5 dozen.
For 5 dozen. It's always per large case, people. And $13.99 at Costco per large case.
Oh, they will definitely fight hard. Say, I'm just not sure whether or not they'll be able to stop it when all of their people are for it also. I don't know. We shall see. But yeah, it is not going to be easy.
Yeah, and Cruz looks like he's fence sitting, by the way.
Oh, really? Uh-huh.
$2.69 a gallon where Brian is. Wow, that's good. Trump and Musk met with Millet today. That does not surprise me at all. Musk was talking to Millet's afuera dude. I believe his first name is Francisco here recently. So, but yeah, if we're in luck, we will get hashtag afuera going on. That would be lovely. I am a big fan of afuera. Honey Bunny says she's seen $2.57 a gallon recently. Yeah, you would think that because of where we are happily located and the fact that there are actual refineries up north of us, that we'd have lower prices. But no, Lars says 405 and up in the LA area. Brian says he's going to start an ice cream making side hustle. That's freaking cool, Brian. I would love to have an ice cream maker so I could make keto ice cream. All real ice cream is keto anyway, as long as you don't put real sugar in it.
Almost lost that.
But yeah, I would love to see some serious afuera going on here. That would be cool.
Yep. I say it's hard to tell what's going to
Now,
happen. I know what they're going to try and do.
this is an interesting thing. People are saying we need to park J.D. Vance in the Senate chamber every day and let him preside as president of the Senate, his rightful role under Article 1, Section 3.
I don't think he can do that just yet, though.
Shane says it was $309. It's now $279 in Northeast South Dakota. Cheaper down in Sioux Falls. It was $260 down there last week.
Wow.
Brian says he uses his ball mill to mix it. Well, you know, technically, if you were making enough of it. Chris says you can pick up an ice cream maker for a few bucks at a thrift shop pretty much any time you look. Chris, your thrift shops maybe. I always check mine, and I never see ice cream makers. If I had, I'd already have one.
And in the wintertime, you could just set it outside.
Kodak
turn it on.
says $2.89 a gallon, 70 cents off a gallon from the grocery store equals $2.19 a gallon for the 20-gallon limit. Excellent, Kodak. The only reason I don't do that here is the only store I have at the moment other than Costco that has gas is Safeway. I am hoping that Safeway is in that Kroger deal that's going on and becomes a Kroger, because Safeway never has good prices for what I want. So I can't accumulate gas points at Safeway. And Costco actually does not have really good prices. Yeah, Chris, I have been looking for one of those. Just the little ones. What I really want is one of the generational ice cream makers like the Amish make, a real one. But failing that, I want one of those little ones that you throw the drum in the dang freezer. You know?
Hey, Jean-Francois, I'm curious. Is the Canadian dollar actually called a Canuck just like a U.S. dollar is called a buck or a, what do they call it overseas? I forget.
Brian Smith says, looking on Amazon, it looks like 100 plus. Yeah, it does,
Yeah.
Brian. They have gone up ridiculously in price, and the problem is the cheaper ones that go on sale at Walmart during the this time of the year for Black Friday, they break like so fast. I've heard so many people complain about those things that it's ridiculous. But I am going to be getting a sewing machine. That's one thing I am getting.
Little one. Believe it-
Greenback. Chris says.
Greenback, yeah. Something you might.
Wage Slave says loony. Yes,
Yeah,
they
that
are.
that I've heard. Do you realize that a bottle roll out on the front porch in sub-freezing temperatures might make what would that be? Ice cream?
Yeah. If we had a clean bottle roll jar that had not been used for,
Oh, you don't think you can go to Walmart and find a 1-gallon glass jar?
yeah, probably.
Yeah, for iced tea.
1 and 2 denominations are loonies and toonies. Yeah.
Yeah.
Laura says, when I first bought gasoline, it was 23 cents. I had to search all the furniture in the house.
The lowest I've ever seen it was 16 cents a gallon during a gas war between two stations in I think it was Yuma. But yeah, I've seen it as low as 16 cents at the actual pump price. But that would have been probably in the 60s.
Yeah, John Cornyn with his, I think President Trump's time has passed him by, and what's the most important thing to me is we have a candidate that can actually win. Yeah, well, Canadian currency itself is called the Canadian dollar. Yeah.
I know, but Canuck sounds good.
Yeah, I believe
I like the idea.
I
of
believe Canuck Buck sounds great.
Or not even Canuck Buck, just the Canucks.
A wooden bucket, a metal can, ice and salt with a hand crank. One of the simplest make it kits. Yep, it is Kodak. I basically want an old school ice cream maker like that.
Yeah, I say we
The
could
kind I grew up with.
take a jar and put it on the bottle roll in the middle of winter, and it's 10 degrees outside, and just turn it on.
Kodak says his first gas was 26 cents a gallon.
Yeah. It'll be interesting to see what happens.
I remember
I remember that
About
time.
39 cents a gallon in the early mid 70s in Boston, Massachusetts. And that was expensive. Everybody thought it was the end of the world.
Well, yeah, 1973 was the
Yeah.
embargo.
Yep. And by 1975 in Boston we had alternate day fueling based on your license plate number. We had maximum 10 gallons, and the highest price in town was like $1.93 for premium. And that's when really people thought it was the end of the world. So
I hope they weren't internet capable, Jean-Francois.
Honey says 2 rubber squeegees in a bucket. Yeah. Those Boston Dynamics dog robots I hate. They, yuck, gross, horrible. I don't like them. That's right up there with Starlink being Skynet. Totally unacceptable to me. Kodak says got out of the Army in the spring of 73. Ooh, yep.
No, I say it's pretty interesting. So, that's kind of the interesting things right now. If we have won the House, if that gets confirmed and everyone believes it, then the opposition they will know where all the chess pieces are on what board, and will know exactly what plan B to start executing.
Well, I will say this. I do find it interesting. We never get the actual candidates we want doing anything over there in D.C., but that's not expected.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, that's because we're internet trolls. Or garbage. One or the other. Oh, don't forget insurrectionists. So, let's say, maximum alert right now. Keep your eyes open. We might have crazy people doing crazy things at any time. So be aware, be ready to react. Don't expect everything to just magically get better here.
I paid 17 cents, I can remember one time, but most of the time 27 cents.
Yeah, 27 cents, 30 cents. That was about the normal. Absolutely. But yeah, so that 16 cents was a serious gas war. Remember when they used to have things called gas wars?
If you win, did you find an auction? Do you have to move it?
So that's about all I can think of. Anyone else got anything they want to bring up at this point?
Yeah, Reddit is now convinced that Starlink was counting and transmitting votes.
Yep, exactly.
Elon and Starlink stole the election, people.
Elon and Starlink stole the election. Well,
no,
maybe we should have internet-capable machines.
Variety of crazy. This is our mass psychosis event starting to decompensate here.
Yeah, we're talking about millions of them.
The trailer.
We're working on it every day now. We've made a deal. We've agreed to something that we both think will work. I've got a lot of work to do on it over the next year to kind of reduce the rent.
Yeah, we're not going to end up renting it long term, because I can tell you once we're done fixing it, I'm thinking the rent's going to be a lot higher.
Yeah, we shall see what happens. Just a second, honey bunny, we're checking. But main gold is black particles. If it's pure gold, it certainly wouldn't be. It could be electrum, something that's high in silver and is oxidized, if in fact it has a lot of gold in it. That would certainly be possible. All the electrum I've seen is pretty much silver. What about those gold prices? I think, people are more confident that things aren't going to go all to hell, so there's a little bit of profit taking and backsliding. It's
And
good,
the other
good time
thing-
to buy, in my opinion.
This is an excellent time to buy. I mean, this is the time when you back up the freaking truck because you can lower your personal dollar cost average.
Yeah, I say I'm perfectly happy with these lower prices at the moment. I don't think they're going to last because the fundamentals of the U.S. dollar are still sucky. You know, we're going to go to 36 trillion this week. How are we going to pay it off? You know, let's see, 36 trillion. What is that worth? 36 and then billion and then million. So divided by, see, go to.
Well, if we could cut it by $1 billion a day, 1,000 billion would be a trillion.
10,000. 36 times 0.0001. Okay, so that's trillion.
Kodak says checks in the mail. Yeah.
I probably misplaced the decimal point, but it comes up on the neighborhood of everyone still owes well over $1 million as their part of the national debt. 330 times.
Oh, wow.
Yep. Everyone owes about $1 million as you're part of the national debt. How do you think you're going to pay your part?
Ask Tony Beats for a loan. Yeah, I don't.
Oh, yeah, they can print that, but then they drive inflation through the roof, which means all our precious metals go up.
Well, they want to make $1 trillion platinum coin that's 1 ounce, as if anybody's going to spend $1 trillion of anything to get an ounce, and it makes 0 cents at all.
Yep. Oh, I agree, honey bunny, but I don't think that's government accounting. By the way, Jean-Francois, somebody said that people have said that Musk destroyed some of the Starlink satellites. They're using that datum, whether it's true or not, to say, well, they used Starlink to steal the election and blah, blah, blah. But are you aware of SpaceX destroying any Starlink satellites in the recent past? And if so, why was that? I presume they were deorbiting or something like that, or in a bad orbit. What?
Well, 2 things of interest. One is a painting that is simply a yellow rectangle on the top, a blue rectangle on the bottom, called Untitled, that sold for $32.5 million.
That's the Ukraine flag. Well, no, that's the opposite.
No,
of the
it's the
Ukraine
opposite
flag.
of the Ukraine.
I'll turn it
flag.
upside down.
The Fed are criminals. Don't pay interest or principal. They already sold too much. They'll go after Starlink, yeah. Well, of course they will.
Yep.
We all know the saying, what price can you put on a human life? And the standard answer is 10 cents. Yep.
Price of a bullet.
The other interesting thing that happened is the Europeans are now saying that when Trump leaves NATO, who's going to help protect America from China, Russia, Iran, and North Korea? The U.S. will never survive against the world. Y'all are really dumb. So just to let you know, that's the current state of bizarreness.
We have large moats. First, they got to get here. Getting across an ocean is awfully hard in today's day and
Well, they're coming up through Mexico already.
Yeah.
And down through Canada. Thank you, Canadians.
even
Not.
then, tens of thousands versus millions is not going to, they got to get a lot more than that in for war. They can cause
A woman
Hate
in
disrespect,
Seattle was
though.
arrested on murder charges after she allegedly killed her father with an ice pick because she was overwhelmed due to the election results.
See, it's already happening.
Deorbiting is normal, yeah.
Yeah.
It might well be. I mean, I haven't even really heard about it. That's just the latest crackpot theory on the issue. These people are giving real tinfoil hatters a bad name.
As I say, it's interesting to see the lefties saying exactly what we did 4 years ago and not recognizing how hypocritical it is.
China has hundreds of silkworm missiles in Lake Panama. Nothing would surprise me at this point, so.
Yeah. On the other hand, as I say, what I'm saying is, how can they invade the United States? They can certainly cause us problems. And with nuclear weapons, they can do tremendous damage if they're willing to potentially take some tremendous damage too. But we probably ought to get some maneuvering warheads online pretty quick. I say, it's as far as I know, the silkworms are basically anti-shipping missiles. And as such, they would certainly be a threat to our Gatun Lake. Close enough. But say it would certainly cause us trade issues and transportation issues. But I don't think that would allow them to invade us.
Huh. Now this is interesting.
What?
Fauci retired from the federal bureaucracy as the highest paid government employee ever. A $480,000 salary. His pension's estimated to cost $355,000 a year.
Yeah.
His net worth's $11 million.
Yeah.
In addition to all that, we spent $15 million on his security for the past 2 years. $15 million nobody asked us if we wanted to fork over to America's richest bureaucrat. That is not including the royalties he made from vaccine manufacturers.
Well,
quite interesting.
Maybe they simply ought to stop paying for his security.
Well, we're not all worried about missiles, okay? Anybody got any mining questions?
Probably not.
We're not going to discuss missiles, okay?
I don't think.
Oh, and apparently Melania Trump has snubbed tea with Jill Biden and skips the traditional meeting, according to breaking news on the Daily Mail, since we get more news from the Daily Mail than we do from the American media.
I think Melania is more worried about Barron's safety than anything else at this point.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, she knows that she can't do much about Donald, but Barron is her
I would not be
number one concern.
Yeah, Barron's in college too, in New York, I believe, which is ridiculous.
That would be a bad idea.
Well, he is.
Well, maybe he needs to go somewhere else. Take internet classes. Yeah. Silkworm missiles, 600 miles. Yeah, about like our Tomahawks. You know, but I don't know if they can actually reach anything but maybe the southern tip of Texas, maybe Florida. Let's say, I'm just, they can't do much to most of the mainland.
Well, we're not worried about missiles.
Why not?
Because my intuition says we shouldn't be talking about missiles.
Okay.
Okay?
Anyhow, any other
I'm
subjects at this point?
The subjects.
Just say, I'm changing the subject. Anyhow, anything else before we call it a night? Anybody?
I gotta eat anyway, too.
Yeah.
Oh, and in other news, outdoors is fast-phobic because outdoor spaces are traditionally not welcoming for those in bigger bodies. Okay? So just so you know, if you happen to be a fat person, apparently the outdoors is fat-phobic.
Ah.
Outdoor spaces are not welcoming for bigger bodies.
I think reality's fat-phobic. Your life expectancy goes way down.
Yeah, I just thought that was rather interesting.
Okay, take care, John. Uh, we should be moving into the new trailer probably in a week or so, would be my guess.
Yeah.
We shall see. How much gold did you recover last week? Right now, none.
Well, I have debris outside that
Yeah,
are waiting to go in the smelter in the furnace. We just have to get out to the lab. And the funny thing happened the last couple of times I made beads, it was so freaking cold out there that when I turned on the furnace, it took like
Forever.
3-4 minutes to get to the point where it would begin working.
Yeah.
And then the little digital thing was showing 8s, and then it showed 1 8, and then it showed 2 8s, and then it showed 3 8s, and then it showed 4 8s, and then it finally showed a temperature and started working because of the temp, because it's cold. That's all I can assume, because my electronic devices are not working well in cold.
Yep.
But yes, I do have debris, and we will have a bead out of it this week.
Yep. We'll probably be heading out there on
Chris
Wednesday.
Wallace is quitting CNN.
Good.
Yes. Chris Wallace wants to do his own thing.
Okay.
Woo-hoo.
Another call. Anybody have anything they want to comment on before we call it a night? Oh.
More school teachers melting down in front of their classrooms and saying very inappropriate things on social media.
Yep. Crazy people do crazy things. Okay, I think we'll call it a night then. Do it, honey bunny. And say we'll keep you updated, but not a whole lot of gold stuff are we planning to have done by next week. We might have the silver stuff done by next week. You know, our actual parameters. We're not going to have it completely.
And I will have some nice cleaned crystals to show off next week too. A 1 liter disket. Jean-Francois.
Sure.
I am an equal opportunity lab person. I love all lab equipment that shows up, even if I don't know what the hell it is. Okay? You never have to ask if I want something if it's lab related. I'm going to want it.
Anyhow.
He can tell you my number one thing that I usually say. I want one.
Yeah.
I don't know what the hell it is, but I want one anyway.
Okay. We now have enough room to put more stuff. So happy prospecting and keep it safe out there.